Welcome to another edition of Talk Your Exposure. This is season 2, episode 13. My guest host, my co-host is back. How you doing, buddy?
Man, it's good to be back. Another episode today. As you can see, we got a special one. We're starting to get more guys in my class, so I like this.
There you go. A special one for you, Devontae. A special one for you. We're alongside former Division I athlete, pro basketball player Kimbal Mackenzie. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm great. Can't complain.
And we're gonna get you started off with our opening game. So Devontae, it's all you.
Yeah, so we like to start off the show with a game, get the brain flowing a little bit. I'm gonna switch it up for you today. You know, you're a point guard, very finesse in what you do. I'm gonna give you 5 point guards across the board in different eras in the NBA, and you're gonna list them from best to worst, in your opinion. All right?
Okay.
So Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, Steph Curry, Steve Nash, Chris Paul.
Wow. That's going to be tough. Steph Curry, number 1.
Oh,
Right off the
okay.
bat. I've told guys this. I think he's top 1 or 2 of all time, him and Magic. From there, I will go to Nash, just because he's one of my favorites ever. Obviously a Canadian guy. I just love his game. I think he's the one of the purest PGs ever.
Can't argue that.
From there, I'll go J Kidd. I'll go J Kidd over CP3, just because of the chip. But then again, actually, you know what? That's tough because then the argument for Nash would come in. So let me go CP3 3, J Kidd 4, the glove 5. I mean, you can't go wrong with these guys, man. Obviously, Gary Payton's probably the best defender of the bunch. I didn't get to watch him a lot, so maybe I'm a little biased. But there's my list, man, right there.
All right, I would have one switch over, but that is today's not about me.
What is it? I'm curious.
I would have GP. I watched him a lot. I was a defensive guy, so I watched him a lot. So there's my bias. So I would put him at 4. I'll keep CP3.
J Kidd at 5.
Yeah, J Kidd at 5. Love him, but I'll give the edge to GP just because he plays on both sides of the floor, and I watched him a lot. So there's
Fair enough.
bias. Yeah.
Enough.
All right, that's it. Great
That's
start.
all you got for today?
That's all I got for today. Let's transition.
I like it.
Quick.
Say no more. What are your thoughts on Canadian basketball?
That's a pretty broad question, but in general, since I was probably grade 6, 7, I think every year we've seen incremental improvements. And today we can look at the NBA and see how many guys who have we got some superstars, we got some all-stars, tons of role players, and then other than that, just there's prep schools now in Canada which weren't around when I was coming up. Tons of kids, you see these lists of Canadians playing Division I, and then even guys coming out of CIS, some crazy talent. So I think in general, man, it's really good. It's really been getting better over the years, and with the CBL, you could keep naming things that you just see this growth where people actually care about it. People are putting money into it, putting time into it. And I think that was always the differentiating factor from people in the States. They were just always willing to put in more money, more resources, more time. People cared more. And with that, you'll get a bigger community of people playing it and better success rates. So I think it's in a really good place, and there's no reason it's not going to keep going like this.
So Vince Carter obviously started the whole trend, being Mr. Air Canada. They say Vince Carter is the reason why a lot of these guys now, like Nick Stelsius, Tristan Thompson, all those guys that said they watched Vince Carter growing up, and that was one of the main reasons why they wanted to play basketball. Do you think the Raptors are another main reason why as to why they're the basketball in Canada is growing as well?
Definitely. We saw it like crazy with their championship run there. Jurassic frickin' Park, you know, the streets going crazy, kids picking it up, and then there's that conversation of like, damn, is basketball catching up to hockey? I think the trend was already, I don't even want to call it a trend because, you know, people aren't hooping because it's trendy necessarily. Maybe some kids, but just the growth. I think you were seeing that before the Raptors run, but that was kind of just like, yo, we're here. Like the one Canadian NBA team just won a chip. Like that's serious. It was the first chip, so I think it was huge to grow the game, you know, that much more.
Do you think we'll ever exceed the United States?
Great question.
Probably not. I mean, but that shouldn't be the goal. Probably not, just because of sheer numbers of population. Do I think we can compete with them, you know, on an Olympic level one day? Maybe. Why not? I mean, you look at the roster that Canada could put together nowadays, could be pretty crazy, but then you look at the roster the States could put together, it's like that. There's the, you know, 10 of the 15 best players in the world. So maybe not just because of sheer population, but I don't think that should be the goal. I think we could, you know, be our best self as Canadian basketball, but there's no reason we got to be, you know, better than the States, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I want to transition now a little bit to, you know, some opportunities coming your way. So I'm just curious to know, what are some cool opportunities that you've had while playing basketball? Whether it's a business opportunity, whether it's a, you know, meeting somebody cool, whether whatever it might be. What are some cool opportunities that you've had while playing basketball?
Man, where do I start? Even from when I was young, you know, get into, I'm sure Devontae can relate, just get into travel around the States. You know, you meet a lot of guys on those young teams where, you know, still real close to this day, building relationships, building up your own kind of personality and your own, you know, kind of just who you want to be. And, you know, I think sports teaches you a lot. Other than that, you know, a free education at a good school. The ability to, even in college, we went to Belgium, France, Amsterdam. So the travel aspect of things, and then, yeah, just meeting some of my best friends, you know, through high school, college, meeting some mentors and my coaches. It truly has shaped me into who I am today, you know, for the good and the bad. It's provided everything. For fuck's sakes.
What do you think are some opportunities you can have, or what do you think? Let me reconstruct this question. What are some opportunities that, you know, basketball can help you with after basketball? So, you know, we're gonna get to the school you went to in a bit, but what can that help you with down the line? Do you think that can possibly get you into a Division I coaching job? Do you think it could get you to be a CEO of something big? Do you think you met the right connections over there? Like the little things like that you might be able to transition for yourself down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Something I've thought about a lot over the past, you know, maybe 2 years, I'd say 3 years. You know, once you kind of get into this, you know, quote unquote real world, you know, playing professionally, it's like, damn, you know, this is good, but then what? You know, you start to realize, like, bro, this shit ain't easy. And you see a lot of dudes that, you know, it doesn't always work out for everyone. So you got to have a plan of where you want to go with your life. Speaking of that, probably since college, I always told myself, like, there ain't no way I'm working a desk job. I'm not going to, you know, I got an econ degree, but do I see myself using it? Maybe not. A lot of my thought has been, I'm going to just be a coach. You know, I love the game. And I feel like when I'm done playing it, if I can help 2 kids a year, 1 kid a year navigate his life a little bit better, the game a little bit better, then you know, I'd be pretty happy with where I was at. So yeah, like you said, opportunity wise, right away the first thing I think of is you could be a coach. You have the pedigree of, I played for X amount of years, I played for this coach, I played for this coach, and those are probably the connections that you're going to look at, right? My assistant here is now a head coach here. My head coach is now a head coach here. there's alumni from my school coaching here or here. So right away right away it's like, yeah, hey, I played basketball here. I was a student at here. You think you could get me into, all those connections are huge. So it just opens up a lot of different avenues of what you can do. But coaching is definitely one that I think a lot of hoopers think of right away.
You're a pro basketball player, and I just curious to know, what are some of the negatives and stereotypes that come along with being a pro basketball player?
Negatives, just in terms of being a professional in general. A lot of times, if you're not playing in the league, or there are some domestic leagues now, especially with Canada growing the game a bit, but you got to be away from home for 9-10 months of the year. That's a long stint.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that ain't easy. In college, it's a little different. You're in the States. You probably get a couple trips home every year. There isn't much culture shock, but if you want to go overseas, then it's a pretty hefty sacrifice to be away for that long. The game is high highs and low lows, but I think that comes with a lot of jobs. In terms of stereotypes, I think a lot of people look at professional athletes and think they are one dimensional. Right. Like I was just referring to it before, a lot of guys, are basketball. A lot of people look at basketball players or whatever it may be, football, soccer, whatever it may be, as a basketball player, where, man, the type of people I've met in this game, it's couldn't be farther from the truth. So I'd say that's probably the biggest stereotype is like, hey, you're a hooper, you're, a jock, that's all you do. But I think it's definitely untrue.
Fair enough.
I totally agree with you on that. Now, to be a pro, Kimbal, or a high level athlete, you need to eat right, you need to sleep enough. What's your diet like? And what's also your take on protein powder? As I know that was a big thing probably through college.
Good question. I've been a health nut for a good little bit. And my college teammates could probably tell you a little bit about it. This doesn't mean my sweet tooth is crazy. Like right when I'm done a meal, I'm looking for the first, let me get any type of dessert. I love my sweets, but in terms of my diet though, I take care of it pretty well. I eat tons of veggies, tons of fruit, and then just making sure I'm getting my square of meals in, hitting your, like you mentioned, protein. Make sure you're hitting your protein, make sure you're refueling, but you're not, overeating or eating junk to the point where you're going to feel lethargic. But it's a huge part of the game, man. And I've had so many guys hit me like, damn, man, I wish I took care of my diet a little bit sooner. Some of the younger guys I played with when I was maybe a senior, like, damn, I wish I listened to you sooner. Because it makes all the difference in the world, man. It's a game of everyone's going to show up to the gym and try hard by the time they're in college and by the time they're especially a professional. If you're showing up to the gym and you can't work hard or you can't take practice seriously, then you're irrelevant at that point. Mm-hmm. So that separation really happens, like you said, in your diet and your sleep. Protein powder, I think it could be a good resource. I don't think it's as important as, I once did, where I was in college and I made sure that right after my lift, I had it going. I got to make sure I get it within this 15-minute window. It's like I'm more so of the mindset now of just like, man, just get your good meals in. Make sure you're eating your square meals, getting enough protein in. I personally don't drink it nowadays. But maybe if I'm on the run or I find my schedule is so busy that I can't get a meal in here and there, then I'm not opposed to it at all. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Now let me change subjects here real quick. I was just talking about it to some guys from our class the other day. I won't say whose name it is, but you look at our class overall and all the guys that they used to put at the top, which you know who they are. I won't say their names just to keep them out of the cylinder. But obviously I was one of those names, and we talked about how none of us crossed the bridge. We left Dylan Brooks on a stage of his own. But the guys that, they decided to raid under, like you, Corey Johnson, all you guys prevailed to the next level. I know that's probably something you've never thought about, but how does it feel to be one of the last remaining in our class? Because we talked about the other day, we really let you guys hang in and on your own because our class was projected to be pretty good, get to the next level, hold their ground. But as you could see, there's probably not even 10 of us left from our class. So how does that feel?
I've thought about it. I've thought about it a lot, actually, especially when I was younger, because I always told myself, I'll be going to a Team Ontario tryout, 1 year cut, another year cut, another year cut, Team Canada cut, Team Canada U17 cut. I don't think I never played for a Team Ontario or a Team Canada. And I always told myself, maybe I wasn't good enough then, probably wasn't. But I always told myself, like, damn, I'm outlast in the back of my mind. That was always kind of what I told myself. But there's so many things that play a factor into it, man. People don't realize it's not just if you can hoop. It's not just if you're good at basketball. It's, all right, what was your situation like in high school? What opportunities did that present you with to go to different colleges? What was your situation like in college? Were you enjoying yourself? Did you like playing basketball? A lot of times, guys will go to different high schools. Maybe they don't have the role they think they should have or that they want. Man, just there's so many factors that play into it. And I was just fortunate to, again, go to a school in Maryland where I happened to have a really good role. Coach kind of gave me the green light, let me go. That gave me a couple opportunities to go to different colleges. I got into college, and it worked out where by the time my sophomore year rolled around, I was starting and playing, 30 minutes a game. And I knew I was going to get those minutes for 2 more years. And I loved the game still. So it just gave me so much time and resources to improve and get better and fall more in love with the game. I think these things are so important, man. It's not about, hey, who's the best hooper? It's about what's your situation? What's your enjoyment level of the game? Do you want to go to the gym every day? Do you want to continue to get better? And what are your opportunities like? What's your playing time? Are you able to put up 13 shots a game to prove how good you are? Or are you limited to 3-4 shots? And if you miss 2 of them, you're out of there.
Yeah.
It's tough to control these things, man. And then again, you don't have the best numbers in college. There's not going to be great situations, just like coming out of high school. There's not going to be great situations to play professionally. So a lot of things got to line up, man. A lot of things got to, fall into the right place. And so that's not to say that, I'm one of the best hoopers of my class. Maybe that's true, but, I've been in good situations and I've been fortunate.
Well, hey, you could go ahead, Stephen.
I was going to say that was very well said, man. I was like, wow, this is what kids need. This is what kids need to hear, man. This is really what kids need to hear. So shout out to you, man. Yeah. Shout out to you. You 1 for 1. We won in honor of you guys. You 1 for 1.
You 1 for 1. All right.
Jake, man.
1 for 1. And yeah, I think that's a great point. It's more than just the game itself, but the logistics behind the scene things, your career and stuff like that. But you hit on what I want to ask next. Let's go back to high school. Right, way back, like Drake would say. You were named the Rookie of the Year and MVP at the Holy Trinity Catholic. If you remember, what do those awards mean to you? Only being in grade 9.
Yeah, I mean, this being said, I was playing junior, so a little asterisk. I wasn't the best player in the school by any means, not even close. But in that moment, that was my world, right? It meant just as much as winning a Player of the Year award as a senior in a big league in the States. It truly did, because in that moment, all I wanted to do was play well for that high school, for that team, for that coach at that moment. So yeah, I got lost in the process, so to speak, because I wasn't thinking into the future at that point. I was a grade 9 kid. I was young, stupid kid living my life, and I just wanted to play well and to win a lot of games, and we did. So when that came to fruition, I was as happy as I would to freaking, like I said, to get paid every month to play basketball or this, that, or the next. I think that's important to stay in that moment. It meant a lot. For
sure. I can only imagine. And hey, I played junior too. Our junior team was better.
Hey, 2 years I played it.
our junior team was better than our senior team, but I know a lot of cases that's not the case. But so let's transition now. You played prep in high school. You went to John Carroll, right, in Maryland, where you were named Catholic Player of the Year. Your senior year, that big old jump. How did that feel?
Yeah, man, it was in that moment. It was amazing as well. I'll say this: we lost my senior year. We lost on a tip back in the Catholic League finals, and it stung. It really hurt.
Damn.
So to win I got the Player of the Year before that, and that kind of just put a sour taste in my mouth. Would I have rather win the championship? Yes, 100%, 10 times out of 10. But it was cool. You look back at the list of some of the guys who have won that award in that league, and there's some prestigious names. Rudy Gay, Mello, I believe, was in that league. So yeah, it was cool, man. It meant a lot just to look back and say, hey, man, this is how far I've come. But not to be cliche, but winning truly does trump those. You could probably ask NBA MVPs. Ask Harden the year he won it and lost to the Warriors. I'm sure he would say, yeah, screw the MVP, man. I'm trying to win. So winning.
You a popular guy.
Like,
You a popular guy, man. You're a popular guy.
That was my brother. I don't know how to mute this. My fault.
It's all good.
You good, man. You good.
Okay. Real quick, Kimbal, what was the transition for you coming from Canada to the US? I love hearing this because everybody's is different.
Yeah. For me, it was a pretty smooth transition because I wasn't necessarily. So I went to the school. They didn't have dorms on campus. So I actually lived with a lady who basically volunteered to have me into her home. It was a lady named Mary Ray. Yeah, amazing family.
Shout out Mary Ray, man. Shout out Mary Ray. Okay.
Yeah, real talk. And they did this. There was a lot of different host families. So again, it takes a village, man. But I was actually living with my boy Malik Tyne from
shout out to Malik.
from Brampton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was playing with him with Bounce over the summer, and then we went over, and I was living with him. And in our house, we had pool table, little weight room, so it made the transition a lot better. That there were a couple guys from the school I knew, a couple Canadian guys who I guess I went over with. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of at that point to open up a whole new can of worms. That was kind of the point when I started to kind of become woke to some of like the racism, it's Maryland, man. It's not the worst of the states, but I don't think it's the best either necessarily. So I started to see some stuff slowly, and again, the group that I was with was always, majority Black guys. So I started to see some stuff, and that was kind of the start of, where we're at nowadays, obviously, which is a very racially charged climate, to say the least. So there was a little culture shock there, but again, the language, most of the guys I was with were Hoopers. There was we basically infiltrated the school with Canadians. There was 5 of us on the team. So we had everyone talking with the Toronto slang. Elijah Long was there. Michael Asamoah at one point, Kevin Kang, but the list goes on, man. So there was a lot of Canadian guys there.
I was in the States still.
Yeah, we had the whole team using lingo. We had some people in the school. So yeah, we kind of infiltrated the place, but there was a little bit of a culture shock. I missed home though.
Sure.
I definitely had some homesickness at times when things weren't, going the best or whatever. You always damn, I'm in grade 10, I'm 15, 16 years old. Am I really doing this? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Naturally you ask yourself some of these questions, but I have a really good support system and kind of just trusted the process, kind of kept going. But definitely helped to have a lot of Canadian guys there with me.
For sure. So, your final year, you won the league title, first team all BCL. You hit what was the next one? Baltimore Sun All Metro honors, and then the 1,000 point club. You have more awards coming. But do these awards mean more to you after receiving so much? I know you kind of hit on it earlier, but obviously we're hitting the accolades right now. So as the list goes down the line, does it mean more to you, or how does it feel after a while?
To be honest, you kind of forget about it, man. It feels real cool in the moment. It feels real cool in the moment, and it's just it validates your hard work. It validates some of those questions I was asking myself when I went over and I was in grade 10, and I was thinking, damn, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? It's like, yeah, you know what, you're doing the right thing. You're getting these awards, so it kind of validates that a bit. But to be completely honest, I don't know how many years removed I am from that now. What is that? 6, maybe 7, 8 years removed. I don't think of it ever. I don't think of the awards. I don't think of the 1,000 points unless I see the stupid basketball up in my closet or whatever it may be. But you remember winning. You remember the guys. And again, I don't want to sound cliche, but you remember the relationships. You remember the guys. You low-key remember the tough times and kind of just say, damn, the late nights, the workouts, just getting on the gun late night, bumping music, those are the times that actually you remember probably more. So it's good to remember that when you're in the moment and you're not winning an award or you're not, the leading scorer, this, that, or the other, like, you know what, this isn't what is truly important in this moment. So it's good to reflect on that.
No, it's such a great point, because if I ask you right now, in the NBA, who's the 1979 MVP? Who won that in that year?
Nobody cared.
You don't know. So
nobody cared.
That was a great point. Not to take anything away from you, but it was a great point.
Will Chamberlain.
Yeah. Stop it.
I don't know.
Let me fact check that. No, okay.
I don't know.
But I was supposed to say.
Can you imagine if I actually knew that stat? Like, shit.
79. I don't know.
It probably was Bill Russell, to be honest with you. It's probably Bill Russell. Who knows? But Kimbal, I want to know, why Bucknell?
Probably, to be very honest with you, is probably the best basketball school out of the offers I had.
Where did you have?
Many.
Where did you have?
I had UMBC, which is University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Mm-hmm. You played against them, yeah, Devontae?
Yes, we did.
America East. Yeah,
America East.
They're not.
I mean,
you tell me.
The year I was there, they beat Virginia, so we beat them by
that's right.
That was the stat where we beat them by 50 during the regular season, and they win the whole thing. Then they beat Virginia, so that will always have a sting in our mouth.
Well, maybe in terms of tradition, right? Not the greatest of programs, maybe.
Fair to say.
Loyola, Maryland, which actually was in the same league, Patriot League, solid school. Novell Provo from our class actually went there. Did I have Siena? Was my first one.
Oh, wow.
By the time I was graduating, Siena had kind of already come and gone. I think I got that offer my junior year, and I had a really good game, and then maybe they didn't think I was as good as.
Hey, great job.
So they kind of
not picking.
Great
job.
Yeah, so they kind of didn't talk to me as much going down the line. And actually was at a good old Caravana Classic at the Brampton Soccer Center when Bucknell came to.
Oh, wow.
They had the head coach there and the assistant there. And then I can't remember who it was. One of the bounce coaches came up to me before the top 25 game.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, if they like what they see, they're going to offer you. I was like, oh, shit. And I'm about to go into this game with Dylan playing, with Jamal playing, with all these other guys who have, are doing whatever they want out there, way more confident than me, taking way more shots. But I actually ended up playing well. I've made a couple shots, whatever. They offered, and they basically told me hey, we have another kid who we offered who, is considering as well your same position. So yeah, we're just letting you know. Classic college coaches putting that pressure on you, but maybe it was the truth. Maybe it was the truth. Yeah, I know, but yeah, ultimately I was like, hey man, this is where I want to go. Has a really good basketball tradition, a good solid mid-major school I could see myself at. Bonus was it was only 5 hours away from home, which was a good bit closer to Maryland. And yeah, it was good academics, bonus, and good tradition. So I was like, screw it, why not? Let's get it. So it happened pretty quick.
Fair enough. In your first season, at Bucknell, you played 31 games. Unfortunately, you didn't get any starts that year, but you still averaged about 60 minutes a game. You mentioned earlier today that you were a quote unquote. I'm quoting you. I'm not saying that I said this, but I'm quoting you. You were a dumb or a stupid kid. Be younger. Did you feel like you deserve to play more minutes and you deserve to be a starter, or was it one of those where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take this year as a learning curve, a learning year, and then after that, I'm gonna get to it?
Yeah. There were times, I think, as a basketball player, you always have that little ego in the back of your head, like, yo, you're better than this guy. You shoot it better than him. Like, damn, we're losing. This dude scored 4 points in 30 minutes. But I think when you commit to a school like a Bucknell, like one who wins basically every year,
yes, they do.
There's going to be good guys ahead of you. There's going to be solid vets. So I understood that. I played back at PG. Our point guard's a stud. Our 2 was a senior who defended like a maniac. Our 3 was one of the leading scorers. So it's like, I didn't have much wiggle room to be bitching about playing time. Did I compete? Did I go at guys in practice? Did I, tell some of my assistants who I was close with outside, like, I should be playing over blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it was never to a point where I let it affect my play. I kind of understood my role. And like you said, I knew that, okay, this guy's graduating. I have a good chance to slide to the 2 after this and kind of go from there. So I understood my role, but it was a good learning experience, man. I can remember one practice. I've told this story a couple of times to a couple of my buddies where I was the backup PG. Our starting point guard, Stephen Brown, was 1 year ahead of me. Dude is one of the fastest guys. He's playing professionally in France right now. One of the fastest guys out. And our coach did a drill over and over and over again where he started at half and he wanted me to start at the 3-point line. We were playing 5-on-5, and I'd been picking up a lot of cheap fouls with my hands. Coming from the Catholic League, you could frickin' do whatever you wanted. So I was fouling a lot. And he probably got by me like 10 times in a row, scored on me. And by the end of practice, man, I was basically crying, like walking out the gym. I was so freaking mad, but just goes to show, man, these guys got me a lot better quickly. And, I took my licks and I learned a lot. And then I gave it back to the young bucks when they came in.
Full cycle.
When I was a little older. Yeah.
Yep. And I was about to say, because you even touched about how, you mentioned that the seniors that were there right now, by the following year, you were able to, or you thought in your mind, you're going to be able to step in and take over. And you did exactly that. The ball was in your hands. You had career highs in every category for that year, from coming from a freshman to sophomore. You started now. You actually got to start you got to start all your games actually. What did you feel was able to like, what fueled you to this point?
To this point I'm at now?
No, to like being a sophomore, like obviously, not playing, you getting blown by in practice by your starting point guard, stuff like that. Like, what was it that was like, you know what, fuck it, no one's taking my starting position this year. I'm a fucking sophomore. Ain't nobody gonna come in and take my spot away right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm gonna do right now. Like, ain't nobody gonna mess with me.
It was definitely some of that, like just that competitiveness of like, I want that, you know what I mean? I fucking left home, when I was in grade 10 for this shit. These guys weren't doing this. It's like, I'm away from my family, just like everyone else was. But ultimately, I think it was more so just like excitement. Like, I just wanted to play in these big games. I wanted to be on the court, just like everyone else. But it worked out the way it worked out. And I would just work. I mean, I had a coach who told me, Coach Griff, who I'm still really close with to this day, he just told me, bro, you have 4 years to get as good at basketball as you can, period. That's all you have to worry about. Get in the gym every day, work on something, do it again the next day. You have 4 years to get as good as you can. And then from there, you go from there and you do whatever after that. So every day I'd be in the gym with him, just doing something, getting my jumper right. And by the time that sophomore year rolled around, I was kind of playing with house money to an extent. I had no expectations of like, I got to average this, or I wasn't worried about my pro shit yet where I got to get good numbers. I just wanted to help the team, man. And when you approach it with that mindset, you usually play pretty well. You're playing pretty pressure free and leaving all the bullshit out of your head. So I think that was a good year for me just because, there were a couple guys in that class ahead of me, 3 all-league guys, 2 of them had won Players of the Year. Kind of the guys, I was just like one of the other starters who, if I can, help us out and make a couple of threes every game and this and that. And then it got better and better as the year went on, just because I was playing pressure-free basketball and I was just excited to be out there.
We're gonna get back to that in 1 second, but I have some breaking news, Devontae. I have some breaking news. Demarcus Cousins going to Los Angeles Clippers. Demarcus Cousins is going to the Clippers.
Clips.
Hey,
Demarcus Cousins is going to the Clippers.
The NBA is pissing me off.
sorry. I just got a notification on my phone right now.
Are you kidding me?
Demarcus Cousins to the Clippers.
That's amazing, man. I'm happy for him.
Demarcus Cousins to the Clippers. Anyway,
they lost last night. They blew like a 16-point lead to Orlando last night. They said, "Fuck it, we're not getting Orlando. Get him
to a rebuilding Orlando team. To a rebuilding Orlando team." But I do want to get back to you being at Bucknell. You guys won the Patriot League back-to-back years, your sophomore and junior year. Did this back-to-back feel better the first time or second time?
First for sure.
Gotta be the first.
Definitely the first. I'll tell you why, because that year before we had won the regular season, not by a lot. Like, we didn't blow the league out by any means, but we did enough to win the regular season, and then we lost to the 9 seed Holy Cross at home on some bullshit, like on an offensive rebound, sprinting out to the 3-point line, crazy turnaround, sends it to OT. We ultimately lose. They ended up going to the tournament. They won their playing game. They beat us in the quarters. They beat the 9 seed. It was a crazy run that they had. They ran this wonky defense, but the next year, we had lost twice in the regular season to this Lehigh team. And like this was the year where we're like, yo, this is our, time to go. We had beat Vanderbilt in the preseason. Like, we were feeling ourselves. We knew that we had a good squad. But we had lost twice to Lehigh in the regular season. That's kind of the other, in my time there, that was kind of the other heavy hitter, school-wise. So then when the championship rolled around, we drew Lehigh again. They won on their side. We won on our side. So it was genuinely like we were going into the game with like, we could win, we could not. In our conference, we play domestic championships. So it's not a what do you call it? A site that you play your game at home. The higher seed hosts the championship. I don't know why I can't find the word for it. So our gym was packed to the brim. Lehigh fans in there, our fans in there. It was one of the craziest atmospheres. It holds 4,000 people, but man, it was a crazy game. And we ended up going on this run in the second half. And we were talking about it since we lost that last year, like, yo, we gotta win, bro. We gotta win. I want to win so bad. And like, to this day, that's probably my best basketball memory. Is winning that first championship. I was elated. I was so happy. You know how preseasons are in college basketball. They're long, man. The season was long. So to win that, definitely the first one. The second one, we had the same team back. We knew we were the best team, and we ended up winning the chip by like 30. Not that it wasn't still amazing, but definitely that first one.
I would love to win a chip like that. It's easy. It
was amazing, man. At one point, the place, like the refs went and were talking about something, and then God's Plan was playing, and like we were dancing, like we were up 20. It was a little disrespectful. But man, we were lit, man. We were lit.
Sounds like some good time, man. Some good memories. I want to take you back to a little bit of a good memory right now, but also kind of a down bad lane right now. So it might bring some bad memories for you as well. But you guys get ranked 13th both years in the NCAA tournament against Virginia and Michigan State. But before we get to all of that controversy? Because I watched someone filming it last night. I was like, fuck, you guys should have had it, in my opinion. But we're not going to get to that right now. I want to know, though, what was it like to hear your name called on television and for the NCAA tournament?
The first one, so we gathered in like the school, one of the auditoriums. There were some fans and, you know, family and friends there, whatever. And we drew West Virginia. And this is Press Virginia, with Javon Carter was kind of the head of the snake. And immediately me and our point guard looked at each other like,
Hey,
like low key, like I was a little shook, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm about to be playing on national television against Press Virginia. Like, could we have drew a worse school to play against?
Hey, let me say, we played them in the preseason, so you never would have seen it on TV. And I'm the inbounder, Kimbal. Everybody that knows West Virginia, when these guys score a bucket, the press from the get-go. That's probably the most turnovers I ever had. At least like 5 from the inbounds by second violations. Can't get it open. I'm telling you. But continue.
Yeah, they commit to it, man. They commit to it, and Huggins does a good job with those guys, getting them to like they will press you the full game no matter what, and that's what makes a good press. Is not a team that's like, oh, if they score a couple times, we're out of it, because then you're always going to get them out of it. These guys commit to pressing for 40. We knew what we were dealing with. I started at the 2, and then I was the backup PG. When our point guard went out, I would go to the 1. He would come back. That was kind of our rotation. So yeah, I was like a little, man, I was nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. It was in Buffalo. We drew Buffalo, which is, as you guys know, right around the corner. So I had my family, my girlfriend, I had friends in the stands. I had family all over the place. Big ass gym. And I was a little shook, man. I started off a little shaky. Like when I went to the 1, I had a couple possessions where like I tried to like retreat dribble out of a trap and they just jumped me, turnover, layup, got it inbounded again. But honestly, thankfully, man, like I was saying, our point guard is fast as shit. I just got my ass down the court and spotted the hell up. Because you'll get some open looks against him if you can get it over half. So I ended up playing well, got loose. You know, basket got pretty big. And that game, that's the game where I look back, I'm like, man, we should have won that game. More so than the next year.
Sorry to cut you off, but that was the game where you had 18 points in the second half, no?
Yeah. I played well, and I had some threes drop and a couple open ones, you know, and then, you know, when you hit a couple, it started to go a bit.
Real big.
You were right there, man. It was like 5 points, 7, 5, 3, 5. We were right there. We could just never get over the hump. You know, our player of the year, big fella, was in foul trouble late. We had trouble rebounding a little bit. They're huge. But man, what an experience, especially being so close to home with, you know, a lot of people in the stands. So, and then that next year, sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. You asked me. It felt really cool to hear the name. I was a little shook to see West Virginia. And then the next year, I think Michigan State had lost like freaking 3 games. If I'm not mistaken, maybe 4. I think they lost to Michigan twice, who was really good that year, and like UNC. Their starting lineup, looking back now, was Cassius Winston, NBA, Miles Bridges, NBA, Jaren Jackson, NBA. How the fuck do these guys get a 3 seed? And we're playing them where? In Detroit, Michigan. I'm like, bro, yeah, man. And we thought we deserved a little bit better than a 14. We thought they should have been a 2 or a 1. All this being said, they beat us by 10 or 12. Our PG hit a couple threes late. But they beat us, man. They beat us. But still, nonetheless, really cool experience to play in that atmosphere, but kind of bullshit too.
You've already answered the other 2 questions we had down here, but I want to get to your junior. No, you're good, baby. You're good. But I do want to ask you though. You know, in your junior year, you got injured. I want you to talk to us a little bit about your injury, but also talk about your mental state at that point.
Yeah, that was a tough year, man. Injuries, regardless, can be tough, but this was such a weird one. It was my core. They call it a sports hernia or athletic pubalgia. Basically, your adductors of your thighs and your core muscles are pulling apart on your pubic bone. Like basically I was like there was a tear in the middle of my core. So it was like one of the first practices I'd had like a neck injury for stupid reasons earlier in the preseason. And then finally I was getting into my first practice and like I was telling guys, I was like, yo, like my dick hurts. Yo, I don't know what's wrong, bro. Like, yo, something's wrong. And then I was having trouble even getting out of the car later. I couldn't lift my leg. If I went to put on a sock and I lifted one foot off the ground, there would be a sharp pain right away. So I knew something was up. I tried to play through it, and we figured out what it was. It was a tear in my core. So basically, they're like, you can get surgery, and originally they were like, it's going to be a 6-month recovery, or you can just try and body up, wear some really tight tights, take your ibuprofen, do a lot of like pelvic strengthening and balance stuff, and hope that you're good. So the first 7 games of the year, I was like, fuck it, man. We got it. We have our whole team back. I'm coming off a really good year. I'm like, I'm playing, man. I got to play, right? That's my thought. I play the first like 7 games. We open up against Arkansas, UNC, Maryland, and someone else. Like, yeah, because we had a team, man. We're like, we want to play all these big schools. We felt like we should have beat UNC at UNC. Arkansas slapped us. We're up 15 at half against Maryland. Lost that one too. But the point is, like, we're here. But ultimately, I was in Philly, and we were playing St. Joe's. And I went in to see a specialist, one of the guys. It's actually become a pretty common injury in the NBA. One of the guys who works with, he does a lot of these surgeries to the Sixers, to the Philly Flyers, whatever. He looked at me, he's like, yeah, you're actually like opening up on both sides of your core. So he said, but I get you back in 6 weeks. I can do it tomorrow, and I get you back in 6 weeks. I was like, fuck, I'll be back in whatever, before league play gets into the thick of it. I'll be back for the championship run. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. So committed to it, bang. And then, yeah, 6 weeks later, I was playing again. Was I right? No. It probably took like I still feel it to this day. If I don't play for a little while, how surgeries are, man. They're there with you forever. If I don't play for 2 weeks and then I start playing hard, that's the first thing I'm going to start feeling. But it was a tough year, man. It was that recovery process was tough, even though it was only 6 weeks. I couldn't sneeze. Like, I was having trouble getting out of bed. I was frustrated because this was supposed to be the year that we were going to really go at it. So it definitely halted my momentum a little bit, I guess. But, I took it in stride. What are you going to do? We still I came back. I played not very well. I wasn't myself for sure, but we ended up winning that chip and then playing Michigan State, like I was saying. And then from there, I stayed at school over the summer and kind of just committed to really going at it full force my senior year. And I was definitely healthy by then. And I think the surgeries made me better just because I'm so much more aware of like my movements nowadays and my body. And I think it's made me stronger in the long haul. So it was a pain in the ass though, man. It's such a shitty injury.
Let's talk about your senior year. And excuse me for a second, but I got a lot to read right now. You received first team All Patriot League Scholar Athlete of the Year, academic All Patriot League and Patriot League All Tournament selection, one of 30 national candidates for the Senior Class Award, NABC Honors Court, selected to play in the I don't know how to pronounce this, but the 3-on-3 championships on Final Four weekend. Your story obviously is keeps going and going, but the major thing right now that intrigued me was your 1,300 points. Again, this isn't new to you because obviously you were able to do that at prep school. But what did those 1,000 points, the 1,000-point club, really mean to you? And was it one of those where you could able to do that at home in front of your family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, similar to high school. Like when I look back at college, those aren't necessarily the things I think about. I kind of wanted that player of the year my senior year, but again, like, would it have made a difference in my life if I had won it or not? Probably not. but yeah, it's just a testament to my work, I was the gym rat, I was in the gym a lot. I really worked on my stuff a lot. And took care of the little things, ever since high school. I get made fun of, by my friends because I have a routine before bed that I still do to this day. That's probably going to take me 30 minutes. Drives my girlfriend nuts. Because no matter what, like, yeah, I'm going to get it in. I'm going to get my stretching and my mobility in. But it's just a testament to building up those little things. And like I said before, there's some guys who were in my class who had 250 points in their career, but they can fucking hoop. Like, they can really hoop. And you see it all the time, man. Not everyone can score 1,000 points. So I was put in a position where I was fortunate to be given certain freedoms and to be able to shoot X amount of shots a game and know I wasn't getting taken out, and be able to get in a rhythm and get my confidence up. Yeah, it starts with, yourself, but you got to be in the right situation for a lot of these things to happen. So I'll attest it to that, just being in, my work, absolutely. But also just the things that were going on around me as well.
No, it's pretty well said. And let's transition now, after university, you come home to play in the CBL with the Guelph Nighthawks. Were you excited to be able to play on home soil event finally in front of all your friends and family after such a long course in Maryland? You finally got to, be getting paid for the game of basketball. How does that feel?
Yeah, it felt great, man. And actually, originally, I wasn't going to be playing in the league just because it was that was the year it started. It was a brand new startup. Nobody really wanted me. No teams wanted me at that point. But it ended up, Kissy got the job with Guelph and basically hit me up like, hey, you want to come play the last whatever games of the season? I was like, shit, why not? Like, I'm about to go, overseas in a couple months. And yeah, hell yeah, if we're playing in Canada and in Guelph, which is 40 minutes north of where I live, absolutely, I would love to. So from that perspective, yeah, the league it's a unique opportunity. I like what they're doing with it. I hope it can, they're saying a lot of stuff that it can, gain some good momentum. And yeah, it just goes back to what we were originally talking about with the game in Canada. And, I think it kind of just, it can go as far as we take it, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that. Obviously, we see what's going on with the league right now, and the momentum that's going their way through a pandemic. They're one of the only leagues to really splurge against expectations. So kudos to them. Kudos to the CBL and everything that they're trying to do in their league. At the end of the day, now we are in a business. It's no more of necessarily the guys and the as it is, but more importantly, you got to keep the league going, you got to get the teams going, you got to continue to move on up. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Now, was there any teammate you played against in practice that you want to go at and they want to go at you, during that time?
In the CBL or
we'll
in general in college?
No, we'll go CBL.
Teammate. You know what? Earlier in that summer, I'm close with the coach from Niagara, Vic, and I basically just hit him up like, hey, I know you got the team. Like, do you mind if I just come and practice with you guys? I just want to get some running. I just want to stay in shape and get better. And they ran some training sessions, so I'll go and work with them. And so I got close with those guys, and I would always just show up to practice and hop in when I could. So then when I was playing with Guelph, I was like, all right, like, this is going to be fun to go against, Trey's a damn good player. He's killing overseas right now.
Yes, he is.
Cash just the same. Like, these guys are playing at a really high level. So that was a game I kind of had circled just because they're such good players, and I had practiced with them and I knew them so well. So that was a game I was definitely excited to play, just because of the pedigree that those guys have, man. They're doing their thing.
You go to Spain in 2019 to play with Real Athletic Club. How did that come about for you?
So I kind of went through the typical process after graduating. There were a couple of agents who I was in conversations with. I ended up going with one of them, and then he hit me up with the call of like, yo, this team in second league Spain wants you. It's a really well respected league, blah blah blah. You know, they want you for X amount of time. And then weighed my options, similar to the recruiting process. Obviously a little different because you know money's involved and some things like this. A lot more logistics. You're kind of going through your agent instead of yourself. But ultimately just said, hey, this is going to be a good opportunity for me. Met with the coach who was actually in Toronto at the time, luckily, because he's like one of Serge's guys, one of Ibaka's like trainers.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So in Toronto, I was able to kind of get face to face with him, and I was like, "Yeah, man, this is a situation where I felt like similar to college, and a freaking public service announcement for all the young kids out there. I was told this growing up, and I took it seriously. Go where they want you. All right, don't go to the name, the brand, these guys get Nike gear, these guys are freaking on TV. Go where they want you." So I felt like I had that connection with them where, hey man, these guys want me for Kimbal. So let's run it. Year one.
Fair enough. That year you played with a former teammate of mine, Robert Gilchrist. I played with him at Polk State College. Just want to know what was your impression of Robert?
Oh man, he joined us late. He joined us near the end, and we didn't get to finish off our season because of the pandemic. But that dude came in and he blended in right away, man. He's a really good guy. Obviously, from a basketball standpoint, very athletic, long, skilled, can shoot it. But that's my guy, my British guy right there. So he came in and he fit in real well with us right away.
That's your British guy, in it. Anyways,
In it.
The lingo these guys are hilarious.
Facts. It's funny, very funny, quick, funny story about Robert. So you know how he's from UK and everything, but when I first met him like before all the guys came to school, and we were just walking to the gym, and I said I was like something, and I'm like, I lie, right? He's like you know that? Like what? I'm like, yeah, I know it. He's like, bro, nobody says that out here. Like only I know that, you know that, obviously, and one of our other teammates knew that. So that was like how Robert and I kind of hit it off based on our lingo. So anyways, little backstory.
I love it.
Little backstory about that. Shout out Robert, man.
No doubt. We were definitely lingoing back and forth a little bit for sure.
You touched up on it a little bit ago, but you guys are ranked number 1 going to finish off the year. But unfortunately, you guys couldn't finish the season due to COVID. What did that mean to you that you did all that hard work, you couldn't finish off?
Yeah, man. The way I processed it was like, man, you know what? As much as this sucks in the moment, like, would we have loved to see a championship through? Would we have loved to, like, the city was behind us? We were on a good roll. We were really at that point there for what? September, October, November, December, January, February, like 7 months. Like, we were kind of like, yo, we're home stretching it right now, man. Like, let's get it. We were ready to go. The way I processed it all was, man, the world, there's so many people going through so much worse, people losing family members to this sickness, whatever it may be, not being able to finish out a basketball season from a greater perspective, it wasn't the end of the world, so that's the way I processed it. Do I look back and think like, damn, what could have been? What would that, what would the end of that season look like? I was actually just coming back off an ankle injury, and I felt like I was getting some momentum. But again, at the end of the day, like what the COVID-19 has done to the world and to certain individuals in general, it doesn't compare to finishing out a season. So, chalk it up to that. Fuck it. Move on. And go try and win another. What are you going to do? Like
2 for 2.
He's definitely 2 for 2. He is definitely
Let's
2
go.
for 2. We're gonna have to get.
Yeah, man, that's all you can do. It's crazy. It's unprecedented, right? We've never. I mean, at least I say we as in because we're young guys. We've never seen anything like this. The world barely has. So, what are you gonna do to chalk it up to? Fuck, man, can't control that.
Yeah.
So try not to work out too much.
Yeah, I commend everybody that's over there right now, somewhere that's not home and trying to grind it out. You know, at the end of the day, you're trying to make a career for yourself and things like that. But we are now here. You know, you're currently playing Spain for
Yep.
So for CBP, it's Huesca, right? Huesca,
Huesca.
Huesca, Huesca.
Is
We're
there?
a part, yeah, which a part of the Spanish LEV Gold League. You know, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, man. You know what? People ask me this because there's a lot of times where guys come over here and they can lose their love for it. You know, they get too caught up in because at the end of the day, you got to perform. If you're not performing, you're not getting paid, right?
Yep.
I've seen guys get fired. I've seen coaches get fired. I've seen, guys just say this ain't for me, man, and that's fine, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm enjoying it, man. I'm loving there's parts of the career that are tough. Like I said, man, you're away from home. I've been in a relationship with a wonderful lady for 9 years, and again, for her to come over here with me for stretches and to leave what she got going on, I'm leaving home and it sucks. What about her leaving for me? So there's certain sacrifices, not seeing my family as often as obviously I would like, but at the end of the day, man, it's a choice. It's always a choice. At any point in time, I could say I'm done with it, right? And if I feel like that day comes, then that day comes. But at this moment, man, it's a sport that still challenges me so freaking much. Highest to highs, lowest to lows. But it's that work that, oh man, I did this pull up 10 times after practice every day, and finally I just banged 2 of them in a game. Like it's still very rewarding to me, and it's yeah, man, I'm loving every second of it. Maybe not every second, but most seconds.
That's real right there. That's real. But
Yeah.
What's different from playing for the team that you used to play for?
As in the Spanish team?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a different position. We're near the bottom of the league this year. Last year we were at the top, right? I kind of knew this coming in a little bit. The team was, struggling a little. Lose, man. Every hooper knows that going into a practice after you strung off 3 wins, you're just stress-free, man, feeling nice. We might get up 20 minutes of jumpers, play a little fives, and then we're good to go. But when you're losing, man, you got to self-reflect. You got to team reflect. You got to – not that you don't when you're winning, but from that point of view, it's been tough, man. I'm in my heart, I think I'm a winner. And I think, you know what, we got winners on this team too. We got through and through, I think we got a good squad, but it's a tough league, man. It's scouted real well. Every game's close. It's grimy. So it's been tough from that standpoint, but we got 7 more. We got 7 more games, and I think we're on the right path to. But that goes back to what I was saying, man. It's a game that's forever challenging you in some way, whether it's you're winning every game and you want to fix something about your own performance, or you're desperately going into the next game trying to win. And when you kind of reap those little rewards, it's rewarding for sure.
I think that was very well said. And you kind of answered my last 2 questions. So what we're going to do, Kimbal, is we're going to go right into what we called a perfect world. Now, I like your situation. I like your situation today. I'm going to switch it up here for you because I'd like to see what you would say. Now, in a perfect world, I'm going to give you a scenario, and you're basically filling in the blanks, right?
Okay.
So,
yep.
As you touched on earlier, you said, after my career, definitely being an athlete, safe to say that coaching is a thing that I would like to get myself into, right? So let's say, in a perfect world, you graduate from Bucknell, your basketball career in terms of playing is done, right? But you now transition where you coach for Bucknell for 2 years, superior seasons, right? All the way to the point where you're now getting offers from different schools, right? College right now, you got an offer from basically, in a perfect world, every school in the country.
Oh,
which school would you go to coach?
Michigan or Michigan State. Those are I don't know why. Those are the first two. I know. Hey, my bad. Hey, my bad. Here's my reasoning, though.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Those are two schools that, first off, have amazing history. I'm sure they would pay me handsomely. And it's not too far from home, man. The more I'm on this basketball journey of high school, college, overseas, it's like, man, wouldn't it be nice to just be within, 2-hour drive, however far Michigan is. But those are kind of the first two schools that came to mind where it's like, man, these are some heavy hitters, some rich tradition basketball programs that aren't too far from where I grew up and where I still consider, home 100%.
Okay, so
sorry to interchange, but I thought you were gonna pick Duke. To be honest with you, I was ready for it. I was
Steven,
like,
come
yeah,
on.
we ready to go.
We
ready to
Come on,
go.
bro.
Don't do that. Listen,
That's one school. You can't get it every time. This is a different scenario. We're in a different world right now. All right. So you're a Michigan Wolverine. Superior season, right? March Madness. You end up winning a championship because why? This is a perfect world, right? So now again, you are getting calls from multiple teams in the NBA. Listen here, buddy, we need you. Whatever you're doing at the Wolverines, we need that in the NBA. We need that to transition. Kimbal, you have every spot or every team you want, but now you got to factor in family, location, players on your team, salary cap. Which team in the NBA would you go to? And please, I know he's gonna say it. Go ahead. Look at his face.
Man, it's tough to say as of exactly right now to take over Nurse's job. I'm thinking Toronto right off the bat.
I know you're taking Toronto.
Hey, you redeemed yourself. You're a good man now.
Yeah, man, it's a little tumultuous in Toronto right now.
There's nothing wrong with Toronto. Explain your logic, please.
I'll go Toronto. Same logic in terms of obviously close to home, number one. But in terms of also, I think becoming a very well-respected franchise, ownership, GM Masai's doing an amazing job. Maybe not at this exact moment, but I'm sure he has some tricks up his sleeve. But I think it's just one of the more respected franchises these days, man. To be honest, if I had to choose another one other than that, it would probably be something like, the Lakers, Golden State. Give me some nice weather, give me some good history. But yeah, you got to go with the Raps, man, close to home.
So you go with the Raps, okay? Now,
every day,
for sure. And now to this last little section, real interesting. Masai says, "You know what? I'm out of here. Kimbal, you're doing an amazing job. We've had an amazing season. You didn't get a championship, but you've hit playoffs, made a run." Masai says, "You know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to Washington." Tampering. Anyways, you now get the GM job. They give it to you. You have enough money in your salary to get a vet in the NBA and also a guy within his first 2 years, rookie or sophomore, with your salary cap. Which vet are you taking? Which first 2-year guys are you taking?
What does vet count as? Basically anyone?
Great question. For the sake of the video, let's just say he's been in the league for at least 4 years. All right, so I won't make it too hard.
All right, my first instinct is LeBron because he's the best player in the NBA, and he's still the best. He's the best of all time. He's the best in the league. However,
cancel. Let him finish.
However, if I was actually a GM trying to make a smart move, maybe he has. I don't know if he's a robot, but maybe he has 3 more good years left. Right? I would probably have to go with someone a little younger, probably Giannis, man, just because he's younger than this like Durant and Curry age bracket. Maybe Harden. You know what? I'm gonna go Harden. No, I'm not. Harden's a loser. I'm going with Giannis.
We're going with Giannis.
But
Harden is a loser.
But Giannis is a loser too.
Probably is.
Harden's been to the finals.
No. Giannis is not a loser. Giannis, don't do that just because he hasn't reached a certain pinnacle. Don't do that.
Appreciate that.
Don't do that.
So I'll go Giannis. My player within their first 2 years. Who am I thinking? My first instinct is Morant. I freaking love that dude's game.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
That's my first instinct. Who else? Give me some more names here. I can't think of like the
Listen,
nastiest. Like,
listen. This is your world, yeah.
who y'all got? Like, give me some ideas. I might take one of your guys because
I like Giannis and Morant. We haven't had that yet on the show.
I don't have no shooting now. I don't have no shooting. Yeah, give me Giannis and Morant. Give me Giannis and Morant.
And that's fine. Those two guys will get away with it. Now, did you ever face Morant while he was in college?
No, I never played him. No.
Okay.
Thankfully, he would have cooked me.
Fair to say, but you know what? That concludes the perfect world. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Love it, man. I hope this comes true.
Wow, here I'm going stuttering now. Typically, we've actually heard Kevin Durant and Ball. The Ball on Charlotte, was it Lonzo?
We hear LaMelo a lot.
LaMelo and KD. We hear that combination a lot. So you gave us different insight today with Giannis and Morant. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that one. But this has concluded episode 13 of season number 2. But before we get going though, I want to ask you, we ask all of our guests this question. Who is somebody that you'd like to see on the show? But here's the kicker though, you got to help us get them on the show.
You guys are pulling all the smoke.
You already know.
I like it.
I do not own the rights to this question.
There you go.
You guys are doing your thing, man. Let me think. I'm thinking Canada. You know who y'all need to talk to is OG Olu, Famutimi. I played with him in Guelph the past couple of years, and that dude has.
He's just at the gym, too.
You said what?
I just seen him at the gym the other day.
Oh yeah, hey, that dude has a plethora of gems to give out to the. I know a lot of what you guys are doing or trying to kind of put on for the younger generation and get some gems out there. So I think Olu would have a lot of good things to say, and just a really good guy in general, and a fucking damn good hooper.
Fair enough.
I'll hit him up, man. I'll see what I can do.
Appreciate that. We appreciate that. Hey, Kimbal, where can we find you on social media?
Kimbal Mac, Kimbal Mack.
Nice and simple.
That.
Hit him up on Instagram. Do you follow back?
Depends. Like if I know you, yeah, I'll probably follow back. Most likely, no promises.
Hey, he followed me back, Devontae. So I can't say that he's wrong on that one. He followed me back.
Yeah.
But one more time again, we want to conclude the show. This is season 2, episode 13. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Talk Your Exposure. Follow us or subscribe to our channel on YouTube at RWI Basketball. Again, Kimbal, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you having on. When you come back here, hit up Moves with Dev for some training. He's an aspiring elite trainer, so he's gonna be there eventually. He got you covered. Well, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you talking to us today, giving us your story and your insight. It was a pleasure to hear your story and hear where you've come from and how you got to where we got to. We wish you nothing but luck, nothing but success with these last 7 games, and go kill it and go win a championship. Wow, go win a championship.
Much appreciated, guys. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Sir.
Take care.